Lady, hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right as we dance by the moonlight. Can't you see you're my delight? Lady,
I'm trying to keep it together because we have a new segment called I Like Music with the Rev. No other channel launches more new segments than this channel. No other channel has failed at segments as much as this channel. That's controversial. But I like music, and I think you do too. So we're going to talk some new music. We're going to talk some music that frustrates me, and just a few things I'm listening to. But before we get into that, this was something that I was asked if I would address, and I was a little concerned, and I had to take care of some things before I could address it. But on Instagram, where I'm killing it, I posted something innocently that I thought would help this republic, okay? I posted some Russian disinformation, okay? And I was trying to help this nation, help the free world, help nations and people of good. And of course, the post I'm talking about is the Russian disinformation that Paul Simon is literally better than Bob Dylan in every shape or form, okay? And the replies from the bots underneath that, yeah, man, I see that. Yeah, I understand that. Oh, I know where you're coming from. It was outrageous, okay? And I had no idea how dangerous and ruthless the PSA could be. Of course, I mean the Paul Simon army, okay? They'll cut you, dude. They're in the streets. They'll bleed you out, cut you, leave you to die. And I've had to move my wives, okay? I've had to move my wives and 17 children, maybe 18, probably 17 and a half. It's weird, I can't talk about it, for their safety. And now they're under 24-hour surveillance from the Paul Simon army. Let me tell you, the PSA makes the JFA, Jodie Foster's army, look like freaking preschool, okay? They're clowns compared to the PSA. So I was trying to help this nation. I was trying to help the free world, okay? But it backfired. I had no idea how dangerous the Paul Simon army could be. And you know what? I respect it. I respect that. I respect the people that came after me for their love of Paul Simon. But this will be the last I discuss Dylan and Paul Simon together, who I both like. But it's just, I have the courage to keep going on, okay? This person said they would die on the hill, okay? They died. They sacrificed their life for Paul Simon. I would do the same for Dylan, but I got a family to think about too, okay? I have more on the line than this clown from Russia that posted this. So, thank you for your understanding, and now we're gonna move on to music. What do you want to talk about first? New music? Thought you'd never ask. My favorite thing to do. Now, I'm going to talk about a record, an EP, that many others have already discussed. And I just want to throw in my 2 cents and how much I like this. And it's Material Objects, Passing Through, a band that hails from the Empire State, New York. There's so many details. By the way, it's playing in the background. You may or may not be able to hear it. There's so many details of this that I'm going to miss. But I'm cool with that because this will not be the last time I talk about this EP. Absolutely digging it. First of all, it's my favorite cover of 2023. Look at that. This is a sculpture, apparently, in Paris. Maybe Stunty knows where it is. I'd never seen it before. A photo taken by the drummer Tim. And there's a low-key art matching the title of your album with the art on the cover. And rarely is it executed as well as this, both abstractly or literally like this. It's just a home run. Absolutely love this cover. The presentation, it's a trifold, and I dig it. It's got the fall vibes right there. It's probably somewhere in New York. And this trifold is so cool with the train, subway, metro. So cool. Absolutely dig it. Now, before I get into the music and other details, a member of this band, guitar player, singer, is Dom at Seeking a Thread, which if you watch my channel, you know I've brought up his channel quite a bit. Vinyl community aside, it's one of the best music channels in YouTube. His knowledge of psych and folk and experimental noise, punk, his deep, deep love of Drag City, which will come up later on a different record, is inspiring. But more importantly, Dom is so generous and so kind with his knowledge and has helped me out on numerous situations, picking up things that I've wanted. And he's just a great guy. So it's all the more exciting that something as good as this is out. And we know the guy. And it's inspiring. Now, the insert, oh, by the way, they did a polyline sleeve. It's very classy. Good job, Dom. The insert is a shot. It's a little translucent. Other people may have been able to show it better than I have. Stalingrad, St. Petersburg. And the details, you got your band members, of course. I'm not wearing my proper glasses to read who they are. It was recorded to tape, cut at 45 RPM on the vinyl. 4 songs. Absolutely sounds incredible. Great pressing. But at one point, I don't know if they sold out, but if you have a reel-to-reel player, they had a few copies for reel-to-reel. Who does that anymore? Absolutely cool. I bet those are sold out. I wish I had a tape player, a reel-to-reel player, but I thought that was so cool. Now the sound has this little glow to it that I love. The bass and the drums are exceptional. And I'm only bringing that up because that's going to come up on a different record. But Lazily, I will say the points of reference, I would think, you know, this is literally indie rock in the sense of it's independent. They put their own resources, their time, their effort, their soul into this. And they must have exceeded their expectations. Sonic Youth, some of Dom's guitar playing, I'm really jealous. He has this interplay with himself that reminds me a little bit of Built to Spill. But there's some noise, there's experimental, but there's cohesive aspects of some of the rock tracks with an aggressiveness. Reminds me of some kind of the more avant Discord bands. It's just a great listen. The first song, which is playing now, Harness, it's about 7 minutes and has this incredible build-up to the more cohesive aspects of it. And it's a great sounding record. And if you like the bands that I mentioned, you're gonna like this. But even if you're new to this type of rock, give it a listen. It's on Spotify. But get the vinyl because cutting out 45 RPM is super cool and the sound is really, really special. I really like Cadence, the second song on side B. I think that's my favorite. Not that they're all not great, but really, really enjoying Material Objects. Dom, restless as every artist is, says he's already looking forward to the other aspects of what they have going on. Artists can never sit still, can they? But this is gonna sell out. This is incredible and really, really appreciate him putting this out. And the details that throw a bone to us vinyl lovers is very cool too. So Material Objects passing through, really enjoying this. By the way, Material Objects is playing in the background still. It's not associated with the record I'm going to talk about next. It does have a little bit of a comparison, but it wouldn't be fair. The dreaded, it's growing on me. And a lot of people said this about this record. It's growing on me. Slowdive, Everything is Alive. Tons of people have already reviewed this. I'm already seeing it on the best of 2023 lists. This is an immensely frustrating record to me because there's a better record in this recording than this. And here's the caveat. I'm going to copy George Borden on this video because everything I'm about to say comes from a place of ignorance and stupidity. It's controversial, but I'm going to say it anyways. But George knows the process of recording, mixing, mastering, and he's so generous with his knowledge. And I'm not even sure if he's a Slowdive fan, but he has the authority to tell me to shut up. And I will respect his answer to this video, if he's so inclined. The mix of the drums and bass on this record are so bloody frustrating, especially on the opening track, Shanty, which is that classic, even more aggressive in some aspects, classic Slowdive, perpetual falling over a preposition over and over again, that sensation of falling. The swirling guitars, the electronics that they use just create this amazing sound. But the drums, particularly the snare, is just lifeless. And you can't tell the difference between the toms they hit and the cymbals. And you would say, well, that's Slowdive. It's this ethereal, ambient thing. But it's a rock song. And it should have some sort of bite and anchor because the other things are so blown apart, in my opinion. And if you're gonna have them, because it's a pretty aggressive song. But song after song after song, I feel like the mix of the bass and drums, especially after I listen to this after Material Objects, where it sounds so good, it's frustrating because there's some really good songs in here. What's even more interesting is the songs that drive me crazy, the mix that is, were done by Neil Halstead, the primary songwriter, producer. Brilliant guy. Those are the ones that drive me crazy. But I will say, the last song on side one, Andalusia Plays, which he's got to be referring to the John Cale Paris 1919 song, Andalusia. It's one of the most beautiful songs he's written, one of the most beautiful melodies. It's touching, it's melancholy. Some of the ghosts or bones he drags out in the lyrics are really, really beautiful imagery. And that's a great song by John Cale. Jose, I want your OG copy of 1919. But I just feel like the inconsistency in the mix on this record, particularly with the rhythm section, hurts the listening experience. It's better in digital. 100% enjoy it much more. It's not a vast improvement, but I do enjoy it streaming more than I do on the vinyl. But I just want to vent my frustrations on this record because there's a better one there. When you make a big move with a stupid large vinyl collection and you have vinyl at numerous locations, you rediscover things that you didn't know you had. And you also realize there's one-offs of artists who have immense catalogs or large catalogs, and you only have one of their records, and you know very little about the person or the artist. I sold hundreds of records when I moved, but I forgot I had this. Rafael Toro, Sound Mind, Sound Body. This is a Drag City pressing, anniversary pressing, 30th anniversary, which I believe was 2016, 2017. I don't know how this happened. This record is this jacket is completely shredded. I don't do that to my records. And someone mentioned months ago another recording by him, kind of a sister or sibling recording of this that I had no idea existed. And this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now the anniversary edition's expanded from its CD release. I never had the CD. This is Ambient at its basic core, recorded primarily in the late 80s. He's from Portugal, he's Portuguese. Vast majority of this ambient work is guitar. And it's sublime. Absolutely sublime. The obvious, I think, referral here on the cover to music for airports, but very much this is a extension of Fripp, Cage, but it's soothing and it occupies spaces you can't label. It's not melancholy, it's not happy, it's just bliss, absolutely bliss. And I'm so glad. I hope I can get a better copy. And I'm gonna, again, jump back into this person and get more of the releases, because I know a few people have shown, I think there's one that's red. Again, I'm showing mine, but the packaging on the inserts, I love. Just beautiful inserts. Lots of great information about the recording and the points of reference. Just beautiful. Absolutely love it. And it's great work to sit down and meditate to for 20 minutes if you have it in this really, really great space. Really, really recommend it. Let me get closer. And again, if you have any more information on other pieces by this artist, let me know, because I really, really like this. I just forgot I had it. I wanted to play a sound clip because I won't describe this properly. And I'm not even recommending this music or this album. It's just a strange obsession I had for a little bit on the meaning of something. This is Hayes Internet Explorer. I don't know anything about the label. It is what it looks like. It's vaporwave, dreamwave, manipulated beats, sound, electronic. And much of this music, to my interest, is this exercise of bringing up nostalgia or being nostalgic for things for nostalgic's sake, particularly things that aren't good experiences or good memories or things that were boring or not even cool. You draw them up for no reason other than you can. I call it super postmodernism, in the sense that you start enjoying something that was never ever enjoyed. And normally I wouldn't care and talk about this, but there's an Instagram account, and I'm gonna link it, that started called Postmodern Palace, that draws this type of vapor music, the exercise I just discussed, with images and small storylines that are masterful. And I don't know what dopamine this is hitting, because on every level it shouldn't work. Things like malls, dead-end jobs, divorces, meeting step-parents for the first time. This exercise of memory with images, with this type of music, is a very, very interesting art, and I don't know why I'm drawn to it. Many of those experiences that they're drawing up, I never had, but I'm fascinated by them. Talking about your divorced dad's townhome, or your stepmom's childhood home, or malls that you knew were boring, or experiences with electronics. particularly this record, draws in early internet sounds, clips, bips, bops. The frustration of the early internet, knowing there was so much more, having nostalgia for dial-up, which no one does. You knew there was something better. You didn't know how to do it, you didn't know how to make it, but you knew there was something better for the internet. We had no idea what it would become, of course. But it took patience in the beginning. And this music, the first song is called Dial-Up, does it. Absolutely nails it. But the Instagram account has furthered my interest in this type of music, this type of vaporwave. So, Haze, Internet Explorer, it's probably on YouTube. I can't imagine it's on Spotify, but just want to bring that up. But check that Instagram account out. It's fascinating. Hope you're all doing well and have a great rest of the week.